Good afternoon. This afternoon, I will be showing everyone our fully automated pickup list. Now, pickup list is used for two different things. One is to usually add items on there to be picked up, and then it's used by our driver to actually go and pick up the items themselves. But we have fully automated and removed the first step. The pickup list will now just be getting used by our driver to pick the products up from our vendors. Okay, so like I said, fully automated. Now, the way it works. Okay, so when you create a new purchase order, it will automatically add that purchase order line onto the pickup list. No more human error. Everyone's human. We forget things sometimes. You will never have to worry about adding something onto the pickup list now. It automatically, as soon as you create a purchase order, it adds it to the pickup list. Now, like our old pickup list, there's lots of fields that we need to be filled in. So you'll see on obviously our pickup list right now that we're missing. There's lots of dashes in here, but in the future, we cannot have any areas not filled in. They have to be filled in for our driver to be able to do his job efficiently and properly. So please fill these in. Now, there's two different places you can fill these in, and I'll go over that in a few minutes here. But I just want to give you a better overview of how the pickup list works. So you'll see on the left-hand side here that we got supply and installation and then supply only jobs. Okay, so first off, supply and installation jobs automatically will be put on the pickup list if your install is within 3 weeks of the pickup date. Okay, so if you don't see it on here, don't be worried, because your installation is probably not booked in yet, and or it's farther away than 3 weeks away. Now you'll ask, why did we do 3 weeks? Well, we did 3 weeks, and we can change that to 4 weeks or 5 weeks or 2 weeks, all depending on how we find it's working. But 3 weeks means that our driver is going to guarantee us that he's going to pick up everything on the supply and installation list on his next trip. That means that the ETA date is good, and the scheduled installation date is also good. We have to pick these items up as soon as we can. As soon as they hit this list, we will pick them up as soon as we can. Now, that gives us 1 week to pick up the items, and then 1 week to deliver the items, which then gives us a week for acclimation. Okay, so that's why we did 3 weeks. We got a week to pick the product up, a week to get the delivery done, and then a week for the product to sit in the job site. So that's why we landed on 3 weeks. Now, if that's not long enough and we need to increase it, we can do so. Now you ask, why don't we just pick it up right away? Well, there's many different factors, but mainly is we do it for efficiency and for the business operations. If we pick products up too soon, they end up sitting in our warehouse. We have to move them around a bunch of times. There's more chances of damage if they're in our warehouse. There's the financial burden also by having stock sitting there. We have to insure it as soon as it hits our warehouse. Many different reasons for it, but mainly for efficiency, we want to make sure that we're only picking up items that are getting installed right away. So that you'll see, they will add on there automatically when the scheduled installation date is within 3 weeks. Okay. Next will be supply only. So supply only hits the pickup list as soon as the purchase order is created. So you don't have to worry about adding it. It just, boom, hits it right away. It's on there. So next thing we're going to do is look at the columns. So we have the project type. Everyone knows what that is, supply or supply and installation. We have the vendor. So it groups it per vendor. So you can see that we got Buckworld Western, and then we got the purchase order. So there's 2 purchase orders ready to be picked up at Buckworld Western. Next, we have the vendor SO number. So this is a must. This has to be filled in on the purchase order. So we'll pull this, we'll just pull, it's a good one, we'll pull this one up right here. So we see, this is where we fill this in. So say on the vendor SO, I'm just going to put test in there for now. Click save. I'm going to go back to the pickup list. I'm going to refresh this. And you can see test. Okay. So it gets filled in on the purchase order and hits the pickup list. It needs to be put on there for us to pick up. Now, you'll see that there's all these columns on here. And you don't want to be going back and forth to all of the columns maybe. You can click Enable Field Editing. I can go on here. Some of the fields can be edited, some of them can't, but I'll click on that. I'm just going to delete that. Click out of it and save. Go back to the purchase order, refresh it. You'll see that it's connected. So yes, you can edit those fields right from the pickup list. So we got our sales order number. That's obviously the sales order that came from. If it came from a sales order number, you'll see that some don't have that, and that's because you can create a purchase order without it being from a sales order. The BOL or bill of lading. This is where we will write where it's getting picked up from and the bill of lading number. So if it's getting picked up from PCW or Rosedale, one of those third-party freight companies, then that's where we will write that in there. So we got Lowe's on here. We're going to go PCW. Okay, I'll click save. I'm not going to though, because this is a live pickup list that I'm working on right now. So that's where you'll write that in there. ETA date, very, very important. This has to get filled in. You get it on your vendor sales order. Fill it in on your ETA when you get it. Need date, that's when you need it by. If we have a supply only and there's no need date in there, that means that it's not maybe not important to get picked up right away. So if they need to leave items behind, they will leave items behind that don't have a need date. You'll see on supply only, the scheduled date's never going to be filled in because it's not scheduled for an installation. Quantity left to receive. Now this is one of the coolest things about our pickup list is, number one, we're not having to go back and forth to a different website to go to our pickup list. Number two, it's fully automated. We don't have to add stuff. Number three, if we partially receive items off of your purchase order, it still stays on here until it is fully received. So everything stays on there. You don't have to re-add it. If we picked up 1 out of 2 pallets, it stays on there until it's fully received. This is the quantity on the purchase order of that product. Pickup size, very important. Again, we need to know what size the item or the pallet is that you're picking up. So if it's 70 square feet, I'm going to say it's probably 6 boxes. Now again, that's on your purchase order. Click save, because I'm probably pretty close on that. Aim, style, and stone. So now our driver will know that there's 6 boxes of towels to be picked up. Shipping instructions. Ready after please leave at back of truck. So again, you can put shipping notes in like that. Could be anything, whether or not you got to pick it up at a different location or a different bay, or maybe you got to go talk to a certain person on the order desk when you get there. We have the SOL description. So again, way more information on here than our previous pickup list. So now our drivers can see what's getting picked up for sure. The next is picked up. So this is where our driver will actually click this off as soon as he's picked, or as soon as the person's picked up that item. Now, when we check that off, it doesn't remove it from the pickup list, because the only way items get removed from the pickup list is when they are received into our warehouse. So it stays on there, but guess what? Now you're going to be able to see when your item was picked up, because you'll go onto the pickup list and you looked at this. So you don't need to contact our drivers to see if they picked an item up yet, because you can just check on here to see if it's checked off. We have our contact, so easy access for our drivers, and that's all the columns. The really cool thing is we can add or subtract columns. We can make columns bigger. If there's not enough information on here, we can add columns. Super, super cool that we can adjust it accordingly. So you're probably wondering what happens with items that I want to put on the pickup list but aren't on a sales order or purchase order. And an example would be a sample. So right now, we just manually write it in there, and then we get it picked up, and there's no way to receive or to know where that item is being held, or any information about that item that might not be on a sales order. So now you will be required to create a purchase order for samples or racks or anything that needs to be picked up by our driver. So I'm going to show you how to do that. But before I get there, I'm just going to show you. So we have the pickup list. This is what our driver will see. Now we also have, which will be on your dashboard, it's called My Pickup Book. So this is just going to be your orders or anything that you have that's on the pickup list. There's no filtering to filter items in or out. It's every single purchase order that hasn't been received. So every single purchase order that hasn't been received is going to be your pickup book. Now, I'll show you pretty quickly once I create a purchase order how it looks. Okay, so say I have a sample that I want to get picked up, and also want to know when it comes in. And guess what? We have really cool notifications coming out that's going to tell a customer also when it comes in. So I'll go to purchase orders, and then I'm going to click new, and say it's going to be Ames, and say I'll do Scott because he'll be the one giving the driver our sample. The pickup size is going to be, let's go 2 sample boards. And I'm going to go store, will be showroom, vendor SO, sample reference. So when you order samples, you can order them with a purchase order, and you will get a confirmation number back. Put that in there. We can now give that to Ames when we go to pick it up. There's no guessing where stuff's going to be. It's ordered like a product. And shipping instructions, Scott will have at his desk. Yeah, click save. So now I've created a purchase order. No items though. So what we're going to do is put an item on here. So this is just a purchase order. This is how we order stock, but you're just putting a sample on here now. So you're going to add a line, and I think the generic is what, 00743. I'll just do generic. I'm going to go 1 sample board, save. And then from there, I mean, it says generic, so we need to put a little bit more information in there. So to change that, you're going to go up to your purchase order lines, and this is just for a sample, so it's pretty rare that you got to do this. But we're just going to go through and change these to samples, and if you know what they are, put a bit more information in there. And then I'm going to go refresh. Yeah, 2 tile sample boards. Okay, so I created that purchase order. I'm going to go refresh my pickup book now. Boom. So I got the vendor, purchase order number, job name, no opportunity, so there's not going to be a job name. I got my sales order number, so I'll go in here now. I'm going to go enable editing. I'll just do 1 on here. So this is available today. If it's a sample, put it on there right away. So again, you can edit anything. You just got to click up here, this field editing enabled. go to the back to the purchase order here now. I'll refresh it, and you're going to see my ETA date changed. I'll put my need date the same. Now, if it's a sample, just put the ETA. Need date is great also, but we'll know that if it's a sample, it should just get picked up if it's in, ready to be picked up. I'll refresh this now. You're going to see that my need date. So I'm just trying to show you that you can adjust on both sides. Super easy to use. Now I'm just going to have a list of all of my orders on here, my purchase orders that haven't been received yet. So I'll go here now. I'll click refresh on this one. Aim, style, and so on. I got my sample in here. All this information. This is going to be way more efficient for our driver, way less texting and calling and wondering and assuming. So super excited for us to get started on this. I'll put a start date in the notes. And yeah, like I said, fully automated, going to save everyone so much time. We're not having to leave our system anymore. Of course, data is only as good as the entry of it. So we have to enter our data properly. We're already entering this stuff on our other pickup list. Now we're just entering on the purchase order or on your pickup book or on the pickup list, wherever you want to enter it. But we gotta get, lots of these can have no dashes on there. So again, way more information, automated, no more human error. It knows when we're installing stuff. Couldn't be more excited. This is probably one of the coolest things we've built in the system here, and it's going to save everyone a ton of time and a lot of headaches. So start using it ASAP. We'll be launching it with our driver very soon, and I'll put more in the notes. Have an awesome day.